It's going.
Cool, all right. Well, this is the first meeting of the Tabletop Minions group here in Oshkosh, and I want to thank everybody who's here. It's very snowy, and it's very slippery out, from what I understand. I walked, because I just live a couple blocks away, so that's fine. For our presentation this week, I just want to talk real quickly about what the group is about and what we're doing. The main purpose of the club is going to be to have people play miniatures, have people learn about miniatures, people learn about techniques. For the last hour and a half, a couple of us have been talking about painting and minis and sculpting and putting stuff together and all kinds of stuff. So people will be, bringing things to the group, bringing things to show. That's totally cool. So a couple different pieces. Website is tabletopminions.com, .org, tabletopminions.org, and it's going to be something that is going to have news on it. It's going to have information about the events we're going to be going to, perhaps, stuff like that, tournaments, whether it's conventions, whatever. Also, based on the website, there's a link that goes to the message board. If you want to go to the message board directly, it's going to be at forum.tabletopminions.org, and there's going to be a lot of information there. It's going to be something where people are going to be able to find out more information about miniatures, about games they haven't played, games that they want to play. It's going to be a good place for people to get together and hook up with other people so that they can find a game you can play. Like, I want to play AT-43, but I don't know anybody who has it. Well, now you can find somebody on the message board, and then you can play with them. It might be at the meeting, it might be at somebody's house, it might be wherever you want to play, get together. That's totally what we're looking for. That's the main kind of crux of the whole club, is getting people together who are interested in miniatures, people who are interested in painting, people who are interested in playing, collecting, getting them together so they can share information, they can play games with each other, that kind of stuff. The message board's got sections about the getting together, playing games, talking about games, that kind of stuff. It's got a section about, it's like a trading post. If you've got some minis that you don't want anymore, or you're looking for something, you want to sell something, you want to trade something, we've got a section on there about that. We've got, there's like 4 main sections on there right now. I'm trying to think what else is on there. The miniatures one. Lee, what other sections are on the message board? There's the trading post, there's the miniatures one. Oh, painting and modeling. Painting and modeling, and there's 4, and I can't think of the 4th one.
Looking for gamers?
Oh no, the 4th one is about information about the group and the club and that stuff in general. So there's going to be a painting and modeling board. People can go on there, talk about techniques. They can show off their work. I've put up a couple of pictures of the War Machine guys that I've taken pictures of, that kind of stuff. Message board is really the place to go to find out more, to meet other people, because some people aren't going to be able to make the meetings. And that's because the meetings are on Tuesday night, second Tuesday of each month, 6:30, House of Heroes, downtown Oshkosh. The main crux of the meeting is to have a presentation like this, and I'll videotape it, put it on YouTube, so people who can't make the meeting can still watch the presentation, and that's fine. The presentations can be anything from, well, this is how I like to paint this, or this is a new game that I think people would like to find out about, and that kind of stuff. So we'll do a lot of different things like that. The monthly meetings, again, are not necessities. You don't have to come if you can't make it. It doesn't mean you're not in the group or whatever. The group is very kind of amorphous and just sort of, it's a loose group, we'll say. It's a loose club. But another thing that we're going to have happening at more of the monthly meetings is probably some playing of some games. We can really only be here at the shop till about, say, 10-ish or so at the latest. So there's not a ton of time to play, like if you can't set up a big 6-hour game of, Apocalypse or whatever for 40K. But yeah, so there's a lot of things like that. But that's kind of what the monthly meetings are going to be about. Local conventions and events, that's another thing that I personally think the club would be great for. I know there's OshCon here in town. I know that because I kind of run it. But there's also Fire and Ice, which is in Manitowoc. There's a convention in Green Bay called Chaoticon, which is usually in the spring. Wisconsin's got a good amount of small conventions, and going as a club to run games and demo stuff and do things like that really helps the hobby. So I'd like people to be able to do that as well and to meet up with people and carpool and do all kinds of stuff like that. As it is right now, I go to a bunch of these conventions, and I know some people do as well. So if we can do more of that, I think that's great. As far as the future of the club, when I was originally thinking about it and talking to people, I was thinking about maybe we should name it the Oshkosh Area Miniatures Club or stuff like that. But I don't really want to be that restrictive and say, well, you know, this is just for Oshkosh people, and this is just, you know, people from Appleton, that's too far to come, or whatever the deal is. We want to be open, so that's why we kind of named it Tabletop Minions. That being said, in the future, we may have an Appleton chapter where they have their own meeting and they've got their own section of the message board. There may be a Green Bay chapter. There may be Milwaukee and maybe Madison. I know people all over the place, so that could be something that I've already talked to a guy from Milwaukee who said he's kind of interested, so that might be kind of cool. Because obviously they're going to play with people who are local to them, but maybe when you go to a convention, if it's you go to a convention in Milwaukee, you're going to find all of a sudden, well, we're going to hook up with the Milwaukee group and we're all going to run some big thing or whatever. But again, we're leaving it open, but that's down the road. So anyway, that's my short presentation for the first meeting. We've got about, what would you say, 6 people here roughly? That's about right. Okay, that's fine. Right. But it's very snowy, and it's the first meeting, so that's cool. But anyway, that's about it, and I want to thank everybody for showing up, and there you go. Woo!